Okay. Hi. Welcome to episode 5 of my podcast, His Man Cave. I'm Glenn Stewart.
I'm Johnny Gates.
And buckle the fuck up, kids. just
All
go,
right.
just go aggressive.
Jesus, are you picking them up from school? That's what I say to my kids every day when I pick them up from
Do
school.
you
Buckle
really?
the fuck up, kids.
No, you can't drive off without them buckled up.
I do it every day.
Do you really?
Yeah, I got a gigantic car. It takes Jonah 5 minutes to get to the back. So
That's true.
yeah, and those teachers don't give a shit. They're just trying to push them out.
I
Get the fuck in the car, kid.
have a fucking aunt now that will not get out of the way of the car when you leave a family function if you're not buckled up in front of her.
Oh my god.
She's all about
She would
that
hate
same-
my guts. I don't use car seats.
Well, I have like 9 state trooper seatbelt tickets because I really don't care for seatbelts. In the race car, you have a 5-point harness,
Right.
And you don't fucking move. 3-point harness when you're a bigger guy is asking for a broke collarbone,
Right.
so I don't like them. And man, I used to give that cop all kinds of shit. He'd pull me over. He's like, "Mr. Stewart, do you know why I pulled you over?" And I'm like, "I'm assuming it has something to do with his fucking seatbelt." Like, I'll just sign the ticket.
Yeah, just let me have it.
The best one was I went on a camping trip and I had like these logs in the back and there were like these flies or gnats or some shit that had been apparently nesting in there.
Right.
And he pulls me over and he's like, "Mr. Stewart, it's good to And I was like, I look at him and you can tell he's like, "Don't you fucking say a word." And I'm sitting there and he's like, "I pulled you over for And I was like, "Well, you see what happens when you pull over God's chosen people?"
Jesus.
And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, you know, God's on my side. Plague of flies on you and whatnot."
Jesus. What was growing out of the
It was
Does
lit-
it stink or something?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, it was just wood.
Oh,
it was
so he
like-
was just choking on the flies themselves.
Yeah, the flies were
Okay.
flying in his mouth.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Did you know it's illegal to take firewood across state lines when you're camping?
absolutely.
That's crazy to me. Even though you're going to burn it, it's still weird. But I mean, I get it. It's for insects.
Well, there's that, and it's kind of like clean your boat when you leave a lake.
I mean, case in it is Lake
Bistineau.
Yeah, with all that Sylvania. I got an idea of that too, like how to take care of that. You know, like they have all these. I've heard. I remember it was a few years ago when they were first talking about trying to do something about it. Like this guy had this idea of like a riding lawnmower that floated, and you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, that just chops it to shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I thought of is, have you ever seen how like the lift stations work for like sewage treatment?
Yeah.
Big old corkscrew.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what you do is you get like a party barge that has a couple of these corkscrews that just stick out into the water.
Right.
And as you drive around this party barge, you have another barge that you're pulling behind you, and you use the corkscrew, and it grabs it, and it pulls it all in, dumps it into the barge, and you just haul it off.
Right.
Because that's the thing is they got to get it hauled out of there. Like that's why they drain the lake
Yeah,
every
but it
year.
doesn't take but like that much to fuck up everything.
Well, but you start,
Yeah.
working on it like that, so you don't have to drain the lake. You're actually addressing the problem.
Well, I
Because
mean,
I've seen how bad.
Bistineau, I mean, they drained it. They didn't fucking get rid of it.
No, they've done it a few years in a row and it didn't get rid of it.
And it's really sad because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a brim fisherman.
Yeah.
I love brim. Like to go fishing there.
I heard Bissonnet's really good for that.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know about it anymore. I haven't been in a while.
Well, I used to deliver water out there, so it was every year you'd see the lake come and go. I mean, I felt bad for the people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like,
they have lakefront property now. They don't
no, they have
dirt front property.
dirt from. You know, they have those. Have you seen that out in Bistineau? They have those big fucking tarantula looking. They're giant. Like they're a type of wolf spider, but they look like a tarantula.
Oh, oh no, I
And they're
hadn't seen
fucking
those.
huge.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about big.
Gee, I've seen those banana spiders like that.
No, I'm
Those things are fucking. I was cleaning up a yard one time.
Now, are you talking about the garden spiders that are yellow?
They got the big yellow and black ass. Yeah.
Because see, a banana spider is a wandering spider.
I'm pretty sure I thought that's what these were called was banana spiders.
Well,
but
no,
I
that-
killed one day. I shit you not. Legs and all and body. It was as easy as big around as a basketball.
Yeah.
I hit it with a lawnmower.
So do you get into, I mean, like with giant spiders and shit like that, do you get into any kind of like cryptozoological, Bigfoot, Yeti, Loch Ness?
No, like I mean the Bigfoot idea it's funny to me. It's
funny,
fun.
not plausible?
It's fun. I mean, I don't know if it's plausible or not.
I think it's plausible.
I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to say either way.
Well, no, the reason I'm saying is like it's like a rainforest.
Right, but I mean, in this day and age, with all the satellite technology that we have, and the lidar, laser, radar,
Yeah.
whatever that shit is, and all the trail cams and all you figure you'd have some good solid evidence, and not just
Eventually.
some scraps of hair and some footprints.
Yeah.
But and I do a lot of camping. I've seen some weird shit out there, and I've also it's amazing what'll happen when you're like you go out on trail for a couple of days, and I think it's your cicada rhythm where the sunlight, you're not affected by like TVs and cell phones and all that
Right.
shit. So you end up going to bed at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night when it gets dark. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take long for that shit.
Oh yeah.
And
Like
I can see how
reset.
I
Yeah.
can see how your mind wanders and fucks with you a little bit.
Well, I know that like we did a podcast. I'm just kidding. We did we did a camping trip, and like I remember, the only issue is like you don't ever want to tell the story because you were drinking, but you remember shit because I wasn't drunk, but I was drinking.
Right.
And I remember, like, we're sitting at this fucking camping spot, and, like, something is fucking throwing rocks at us. Now, it could have been a fucking homeless guy for all I know.
Right.
But I know all night long I was getting pelted with small pebbles. Like,
You sure it was pebbles and not like maybe acorns from a squirrel? Or
oh, no,
something above you?
like, you could see it bouncing this fucking rock, and there's no rocks in that area where we were sitting, except for
Right.
the big ones we had to burn on the fire. But,
That's my favorite thing about taking them with me, is they hear and see everything.
have you taken them snipe hunting yet?
No, but I did take a friend of mine snipe hunting, and he got super pissed.
We took my brother snipe hunting, and he just, after about an hour, he's like, I don't think these are real. And I'm like,
Oh, you didn't just leave him out there? That's what we did with snipe hunting. You take somebody out and tell them that they got. So the way I was always told to snipe hunt, the way it was pulled on me, was you take a paper bag and a flashlight, and you're flashing the flashlight. Cut a hole in the bottom of the paper bag, and you flash the flashlight in the paper bag, and we're gonna go that way. And we're going to start making noise, and he'll run towards you. And when he sees the light, the snipe sees the light, they'll run straight into the bag, and you just close the bag up, and
See,
you
the
got
way
your snipe.
the way that we were told.
Well, but then you go out there and you leave them.
Right, no, but
That's it.
Well, see, the thing was, I was a really nerdy kid,
Yeah.
so I know that a snipe is a bird.
Right. Looks like a little roadrunner.
Yeah, but it's not native to here,
Yeah.
and
Not even the States, is it?
No, I knew it wasn't.
Right. It's in the Boy Scout manual.
And so I'm
if I
just
remember
trying to be
correctly.
cool with everybody else. And so me and my brother get taken out there. So I'm going to keep fucking around. So that way, they get one of us. And the way they sent us out there was with a Kroger sack, old
Yeah,
plastic bag, and 2 spoons.
Yeah.
When you collect the spoons together, the snipe will come a running. And he'll just run right in the bag.
Yeah.
And anyway, my brother's just out there clicking them fucking spoons. And guess what? No fucking snipe. And he's like, I don't even think they're coming this way. They're not chasing anything over here. I'm like, I looked at him, and he's like, and it dawned on him. He's like, wait a minute, you're a nerd. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, snipes aren't real.
Snipes are real, but
No, they're real, but
yeah,
they're not here.
The most memorable snipe hunt that I've ever been on was with a friend of mine, and we were doing some work for a lady out off of something on the south side of town, burning stumps.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I remember who the lady was, but I'm not gonna say her name. But me and another friend of mine, we started talking about it, and the other guy was like, "Man, what are y'all talking about?" And I was like, "Snipe hunting. You ain't never been snipe hunting?" No, what the fuck's snipes? We started amping it up.
Oh, yeah.
And this motherfucker was, man, I'm gonna catch a snipe and I'm gonna beat the shit out of it so it's tender, and we're gonna eat that motherfucker. And I'm like,
He was so
God,
excited.
oh, dude, he was so
fucking
excited.
stoked.
We left this motherfucker in the woods, and like, I mean, 30 minutes later, he comes walking out of the woods, and we're laughing. And he's so like we rode out there together in his car to this house, and he walks straight past us, mad as fuck, gets in his car and drives the fuck off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he is pissed, like beyond all measure. He is mad as fuck. And he leaves, we laugh, we end up eating lunch with the people that we were working for, and he comes back, and he was mad at us for days, but he ended up coming back. And we still talk about that shit. We still fuck with him about
Well,
it.
it's like whenever you realize that cow tipping is a myth.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
No.
You know why?
Why?
Cows sleep standing up.
Okay.
And they do this. They nod off, and they open their eyes like every few seconds because they're used to being, hunted. And so we go out there, and we were having like a church lock-in thing, but it was like we separated.
Sex fest.
Yeah, no, man. Like it was, so the dudes were at this one house,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to name any names, but all of a sudden we're jumping on the trampoline. Magically, like 3 of the most popular people from the church are magically jumping on the trampoline, just dick and balls flopping everywhere. And I'm just like, wait, this is fair?
What kind of party did I come to?
And they're like, we should go cow tip. And I'm like, with our clothes on? Because let's, any activity where we can put a little, Jesus is watching. So we get out there. And, like, a little known fact about me, I'm terrified of bovine.
Really?
Well, they're bigger than I am, and they can hurt you. And they're not trying to, but they
Don't take much.
They don't take much.
Yeah.
And so we're out there, and
12,
like the whole
1,300
time,
pound animal?
yeah, like, and you just see me bitching, like, and not loud because we're supposed to be sneaking up on cows. And once again, I'm a nerd and an animal buff. Like, I took vet science in fucking high school. I wanted so badly to be something more than a stand-up comic. But anyway, and we're out there.
And here we are now.
And we flash the light out into the field, and you just see like 200 fucking eyes looking at you like this. And we started a fucking stampede.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, they fucking charged us. And we found out a lot of things. One, Glenn is a lot faster than you gave him credit for.
Yep.
B, Glenn can jump over a barbed wire fence. I scaled that motherfucker. But then you hear like off in the background, because some of them chased some people this way. My brother's up in a fucking tree, but in the back you hear the sound of something. They crashed through something. You just hear, like that one of the cows has not made it. And we're not on we're not on anybody's property that we know, but it was
Fucking shit up.
It was fucking terrifying.
Fucking kids, man. I had to run in with a horse one time that scared the shit out of me. I was delivering water to a lady that had a horse on property, and that horse had been cool as fuck with me. Never looked at me sideways.
Never had a problem.
Never had a problem. And I go walking in the gate, close the gate, and I look up, and this motherfucker comes tearing ass around the corner of the house and like just charging at me. Man, I dropped the water, run back to the gate, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is your problem? Lady comes out. She ends up having to wrangle this horse up and put him up, or put her up, should I say? She had just had a damn baby, and I was coming to take that baby, and she was about to fuck me up.
We had a horse when I was growing up. We had 2 of them. We had one. The brown one was called Lucky, and he was the coolest horse.
One eye, no ears. One
no,
ball.
no.
Limps.
No, he was a great horse. I mean, just a wonderful, wonderful animal. Lived to be a really old horse. But he would get up in the hayloft, and you couldn't get him to come down.
How the hell did he get up there?
He climbed up the stairs.
All right.
Normally they won't, but Lucky,
guy was like, fuck it.
Lucky did whatever the fuck
I
he
can
wanted.
make it.
And then we had Santana. Santana did not live to be a very old horse. Nope.
Glue factory quick for him, huh?
Look, Santana, you'd get on Santana. That bitch would bite you by your kneecap and
Damn.
throw you the fuck off of her. She
No
was not
shit.
interested.
No, I'm not. No, get off.
And Dad's like, that's your horse. And I was like, of course it is.
Yeah, of course. A horse is a horse. Of course, of course.
It was terrifying. I fucking hated that horse.
I've never really been around horses.
I get really nervous. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to ride the elephants at the circus and shit.
Right.
But like the closer I got to them, you realize real quick that even they're fucking still, it's a wild animal. And like I'm one of those people that has ungodly amounts of respect for what nature can throw at you. Like, man, you go to a zoo and you see a fucking gorilla, and I'm just like, dude, I wish I was as bold as that guy.
Motherfucker will rip you apart.
I know. And like they get in all that debate about bears versus grizzlies. Does it fucking matter? You just don't want to be in the middle of that sandwich. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
they're both formidable. I mean, I wouldn't want. The thing is, there would be no part of me that would enjoy seeing it. Like, because it would be a fucking knockdown.
You talking about 2 bears fighting?
No, a bear and a gorilla.
Oh man, a bear and a gorilla. I don't think a bear would stand a chance.
I don't know. Bear's got a few advantages on him.
Yeah, but a bear can't rip you apart with their feet like a gorilla can. That motherfucker's gonna grab a hold of that
but
bear.
a gorilla,
and fuck that bear. And use tools on top of that.
A gorilla doesn't have fucking Freddy Krueger claws either.
I mean, you're right there. You're absolutely right. But a bear can't swing from a tree and come down on top of you. Like, I mean, he can climb a tree and jump off of it. I guess.
Yeah, but can you imagine like a gorilla being caught off guard by a big grizzly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see it, but I also see that gorilla turn around and fucking that bear up.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is it would be like, who knows? Because we all want to believe that Baloo could beat up Shere Khan.
Man, we can go to the internet and probably find an answer to this right now.
Well, no, a lot of people are. Yeah, I've looked it up. It's 50-50. People go for the bear.
No, I mean video.
No,
There's no video of a gorilla and a bear getting into it.
No,
I figured there would be by now.
Well, they're not. There's no bears that are.
Well, I mean, they do all sorts of crazy shit over in Malaysia, so I don't know.
I've seen a sloth bear versus a tiger, but that's about it.
Dude, did you see that cheetah versus the fucking alligator? That cheetah just, man, you see this cheetah like jump in at this alligator, and then you see the water like sloshing around. You're like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Because you can't see.
Are you
nothing.
sure it's a cheetah, not a leopard?
Leopard, cheetah, whatever. Big cat. How's that?
It's a difference.
Well, big cat. How's that?
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker comes just walking out with the alligator in its mouth. Walks up.
Oh
the
yeah,
hill,
that's a leopard.
That motherfucker.
That's a caiman, by the way.
Fuck that.
I'm gonna tell you right now. There used to be a video when I was a kid. It's you have this big lion, and he's sitting there and he's drinking water, and you see this crocodile like, I'm about to fucking eat this lion, and like all of a sudden you see the lion's eyes look up, and he's like, he knows, you know.
He knew 20 minutes ago that alligator was coming over here. I heard you talk about that.
And he's sitting there just drinking his water, and that fucking crocodile like lunges out, and I mean that fucking lion just bitch slaps that crocodile. Like, get the fuck out of here.
No shit.
Like, no, didn't even move. Just knocked the fuck out of it. Like, no, don't think so, cat. Like, it's so fucking cool though, and I like how crocodiles get the fuck out of hippos' way.
Yeah,
hippos just walk up and they're just like, I'm gonna need you to move in the car.
You got it, boss.
Whatever you say.
Don't step on me. Yeah, I can only imagine how strong a lion is because I got a cat.
Yeah,
little bitty house cat that'll fuck you up in a second.
I have one at my house. Her name is Onyx. We call her Ani Mama.
Izzy cat is ours.
Izzy?
Izzy.
Well, Ani's a bitch.
Izzy's the sweetest cat in the world.
No,
Ever tell you a story about Izzy?
No.
So she was one of my customers had a bunch of kittens at their house one day when I used to deliver water.
A box of free.
Well, it was a backyard full of free cats. You know, it was out in the country. You know,
backyard
there was cats
full
everywhere.
of free responsibility.
So I asked the lady, I was like, "What are y'all doing with these cats?" She was like, "Man, if you want to take 5 or 6 of them, go for it." And I was like, "No, I just want one." I was like, "I want a female. How many you got?" She's like, "We got 2." And I was like, "All right." I was like, "Well, I'm running a route, so I'll come back this evening and get it." And she was like, "Oh, yeah, whatever." Like, I guess people have told her that in the past. So I show up, and I'm like, "Hey, here to get that cat." And she's like, "Well, this is one of the females right here, and I don't see the other female." And I was like, "Well, come on, baby girl, let's go." And that bitch took off and, like, jumped over to the neighbor's fence and was gone. And I'm like, "Well, I'm not chasing her." I was like, "So I guess I'll just get one of these boys." And I was like, "Come on, boys, which one of y'all wants to go with me?" And they all split. And I'm like, "Well, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you too, motherfuckers." I was like, "Well, fuck it. If you fucking assholes, none of y'all want to come with me, well, then I'm out. If any of y'all motherfuckers want to come with me, come on." And out pops Izzy from underneath the house. And she's like, "There's the other female." And I was like, "You coming with me?" She just literally looked up at me, and I was like, "Well, come on, let's go." And we walked to the truck together. I opened the door. She jumped in, and that's my Izzy cat.
Well, Ani, I was at Jonny's eating pizza with my brother. And this black cat comes out of nowhere, and she's just like rubbing up on my legs and shit. And I'm
y'all
like,
outside?
Outside smoking.
Okay, I was about to say, if you're inside, that's kind of...
No,
we need to edit that out so we don't have a health inspector at a Johnny's.
So anyway, they're like, and I was like, "Well, aren't you a sweet cat?" So we go inside, we eat, and we come back outside to smoke, and she's just chilling there. So I'm like, "Oh God, you know," she's pulling on the old heartstrings, you know, and I'm like, "Nah, don't need a cat, don't need a cat." Yeah, and I'm just like, no, you're not going to get me with that, you know? And I'm driving off, and my brother stops me, opens the passenger side door, and just chunks this fucking cat in my car and goes, "That's your cat now." And I was like, "Ah, fuck it." And I bring her home, and I'm going to tell you right now, that cat sleeps, like, right on my shoulder, like, doesn't bother me a bit. She kills everything that's not supposed to live there.
Look what I did, Dad.
Oh no, she doesn't bring me any presents.
Did you see the dead rat in my driveway?
Yeah, I did.
Weeks ago?
Yeah.
That's Izzy giving presents.
No, she's just like, you just know, because like you don't hear any songbirds around my property.
Dude, there's squirrels and birds on our front porch all the time.
Oh no,
she's an inside-outside cat.
Oh no, so is Ani, but Ani's got like a little bell, and you would think that would hinder her, 'cause ding 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 ding, but no, that bitch will kill anything that fucking lands in that yard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's
Good job.
rabbit.
She's a killer.
Yeah, she's a murderer.
She's a cat.
Well, then I thought, okay, so we move out to the country and we have like these big fucking tomcats that are running around. And she just she's whipping the shit out of these giant cats. Like, she doesn't give a shit.
You didn't declaw her? Good job.
No.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I just
Did you
like
get her fixed?
Huh?
Get her fixed?
I did get her fixed.
Yeah,
because
we did the same thing.
Because whenever she came to the house, she was pregnant, and I didn't know. And then we had 4 boys.
You still got all of them?
We have 3 cats total. We have Colonel, Gabby. Colonel was huge. The biggest one, we had Walter and Tips. Tips had little white paws, and Tips was big boy too. Gabby's like, he's really small. He's smaller than his mother. And then Walter was like the only long hair.
It's a good name for an animal.
Walter?
I had a dog named
Walter. No, that's the thing. The reason we named him Walter is because he was like a fucking dog. Whenever we would bring all the dogs in the house and we'd be like, hey, y'all sit. He'd go in there and sit with them. And we'd be,
I want a treat too.
oh yeah, no. I mean, he'd paw up and beg and all that. He was awesome.
My stepmom had a Siamese cat that had 7 toes each paw.
Gross.
And that motherfucker, when you talking about a cat being like a dog,
Yeah.
this cat would play fetch and hand you the ball back.
Really?
Yeah, you do it with a ball of paper. Yeah. That cat would run over there, grab it, pick it up with its hand, put it in its mouth, run back to you, take it out of its mouth, and literally hand it to you.
That's awesome.
It was the craziest shit ever, man. That cat ended up dying because it ate twine off of the Christmas tree, or tinsel,
Tinsel?
off the Christmas tree.
Yeah,
and
they
it got
can't.
tied up in its intestines. That was like a $1,300 cat my stepmom bought. Fucking died at Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Well, no, we got Walter fixed because Beth wanted to keep him inside. We got him fixed, and then he ran off.
They will piss everywhere if you don't.
Well, no, I
Mark
mean,
all their territory.
well, no, they actually they've never been markers.
Really?
None of them.
Wow. We had a cat once because
Well, no, what I'm saying, we got him fixed, and then he was gone.
Oh,
Like, he was like, oh,
fuck you guys.
He's like, my nuts are clean, gone. And I think somebody stole him because he was really pretty long-haired,
Yeah.
just black cat.
People do that shit, man. Fuck, we had a cat that ran off when we lived over on Delaware. We had a cat that ran off, and my fucking wife comes in. I get out of the shower one morning, and she's like, hey, look, it's Dixie, or whatever the cat's name was. And I'm like, honey, that's not our old cat.
That's not our cat.
It's not even the same color as our old cat. Picked up the tail. I was like, this one's a girl. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, the old cat was a boy.
Oh,
No,
man.
this is the cat. And I was like, no, baby.
That's
it's
the
not
worst
cat.
part is we have the cats out there, and male cats will run off.
Right.
So some of them have run off, and of course Beth's like, I wonder if they're okay.
Nope.
And I'm just like, oh,
Beth, they are not.
I'm sure they're fine.
Beth, they are not.
And
They are Chinese food restaurant bound by now.
Well, I mean, I like to think they're okay.
All cats go to heaven. That's dogs.
That's dogs. But no, I mean, it was a fucking, I don't know. Then the other 2, they just never fucking leave. They're there.
Izzy always comes back. She goes in the neighbors' houses and shit. Like, we've watched her go in across the street, like, I mean, dozen times. Walk over there and sit in front of the door. One of them will open the door and come outside, and she'll just dart in.
And they just treat her like she's one of
They
their
treat her
own.
like, yeah. Everybody
All right.
does.
Well,
Everybody does around here. She's a good cat, though.
what were we talking about earlier? You said that was podcast worthy.
We were talking about your weight loss.
Oh, the
And-
tragic story. of
Well,
my
and how
weight
it's affected you, like in your comedy and this, that, and the other. We were talking about all that.
Oh man, it's a
And I
self.
thought it was great podcasting material because it was personal.
Yeah, well, it's. I get it, like I feel bad because people want you to be like a spokesperson for weight loss.
Yeah.
And the thing is you got to find whatever motivates you to do it. And my motivation, honest to God, was I wouldn't fuck me, And that's, I was like, God, just woof, And so it was vanity. And I really hung on to that. And then after you lose the weight, like I used to, God, but it's affected, like I said, comedy, racing, everything. Because then,
But why?
okay, so,
Let me ask you that. Because let me set this up by saying this. I weighed 298 pounds, and I was like, whoa, that's way too close to 300. Fuck that. And I quit drinking sodas, and I lost 80 pounds in I mean, a very, very short period of time. And then I quit doing the things that I was doing, and I got complacent in life, and I'm back up to 297 pounds. And now it's like I want to do something, but I just don't have the motivation these days. But when I lost all the weight, it was amazing to me. Like, it was awesome. It was because I felt better. I was lighter. I was better looking. I was more me. I guess because I could do all the things that
So
I like to do.
so you haven't always been big.
No, I've always been a big guy,
No,
but
I'm talking about like you have muscle moments and
yeah, and I mean it's been a roller coaster ride. Because
Right.
like in high school, in middle school, high school, I was fat, but I got into weightlifting my senior year, and I got stronger, and I continued doing weightlifting after I graduated high school for a little while, and I've always been a big guy, a chubby guy to a degree,
yeah.
but there have been times where I've gotten, pretty. I don't want to say lean because that's not really the right word to use there, but the lowest I've ever weighed in my adult life was like 190s, 195-ish, and I looked great. Like, I felt great, I looked great. That was back, slinging water bottles,
So
before my marriage, after a long-term breakup. But anytime I've ever dropped the weight, it's been amazing and always been great and never affected me in a bad way. And it's kind of foreign to me to hear somebody say that losing the weight has kind of screwed with things, because you figure it wouldn't,
well, okay. So let's. I was always a big boy.
right?
Okay.
Always.
Always from birth. I was like 12 fucking pounds. You know what I'm
Poor
saying?
mother.
Yeah, no, she couldn't squeeze me out. They had to cut me out like
Yeah.
a fucking tumor. Uh, so, but no, I mean, like I was always, and I was kind of tall, and heavy, and like I can remember whenever I started worrying about my weight was whenever like I wasn't very fat, so to speak, but man, everybody just constantly, what's up, fat boy, fucking fat ass, I bet you can't run, this, that, and the other. I was the only guy on my physical fitness team in junior high for the ROTC program that could run 2 miles solid, even though I was one of what you would call the husky. I hated the word fucking husky.
Yes.
Husky is a terrible.
That's a terrible word.
It's a terrible
It's
word.
a terrible word for a husky person,
Yeah, it's not a fun. It's not a nice complimentary word.
especially when that's a clothing size when you're
Right.
a kid.
And so I remember 185. Okay, I remember this 6th grade 185. Okay, I had this weird growth spurt where I was over 6 foot tall going into like the 7th grade. So now I'm tall and big, and then
There's a store for that.
yeah, I know, but I wasn't. I always worried about, like, your parents will buy you fucking horizontal stripe shit, and it wasn't
Look like a
making my
barrel.
life any
Yeah.
fucking better. And so I guess the part that got me is there's a lot of factors that are emotional, so to speak, because you can look at pictures when you were smaller, okay? When I look back, I'm always awkwardly chubby,
Okay.
okay? But there is no, I see the same shit I see now.
You look at your skinniest, you look like you do now, like when you were growing up.
Right.
Okay.
And it's this weird, like I had a dad bod before it was cool kind of thing. Like
Right.
I was
You
born
had a
with
dad bod since middle school.
I was born with a dad bod. But no, and it's like, whenever, like, oh man, this last month has been fucking terrible.
That's my bad.
No, from January to September, I lost 100 pounds.
Right.
Okay. From September to December, I lost 12 more pounds. And then I held steady. So at a year,
Plateaued.
well, yeah, I hit the plateau, but I'd been changing my diet and making sure that I was mixing shit up. And I think I really shocked my body. I shocked the system. That's a lot of fucking weight to lose in a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And, but long story short on that, when all the pictures of you as an adult, you're just you're something that you're not anymore. And even like Facebook doesn't recognize you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like none of the facial recognition recognizes, they recognize your old picture. Oh, that's Glenn right there. And then there's this fucking stranger. And yeah, no, but what I'm saying is like with racing, okay, so cars, I was used to racing as a 300-pound plus man in my car, and it handles different, and I can enter the corner different because there's so much weight on the left side that it's going to do what you want it to do.
Right.
So now I have to overcompensate for the fact that it doesn't. And then the technology change with racing to where my weight does really affect what's going on in that car. And then so that was kind of like, fuck. And then with the mirror, you know, I got a lot of loose skin going on,
Right.
and you expect that it's gonna happen. I mean, I'm 34, but at the same time, it's not like the loose skin you see with these guys. Oh, I lost 150 pounds, and it's like just elephant skin.
Right.
No, this is thick, like thick skin. And you were talking about feeling better. I do feel better, but at the same time, I have vascular disease, which makes me incredibly fatigued 90% of the fucking time. And smoking probably doesn't help, but
Probably not.
no, I mean it really like my confidence on stage, because I was big as a fucking house. I could say whatever I fucking wanted to. Nobody was gonna challenge it. I was almost 400 fucking pounds. If I made a fat joke, nobody said shit because I was a big fat fuck,
Right.
If I made a little racially insensitive jab, like they were like, he's just a funny.
He's one of us.
He's
Who
a
cares?
funny
Yeah.
fat fuck, And everybody laugh and giggle and we'd have a good time. And then it's like I lost all this weight, and then now people are sensitive to what comes out of my mouth. And they look at you different, because visually you don't look the same. And you have to change your material because I don't get winded when I run. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Um, I like I have to be more active on stage. It's weird because now when I was big, they're like, oh, well, he's not going to do
Yeah,
a
he
lot
can
of
just
moving.
stand there.
He can
Yeah.
just stand
Kind of like what I get away with.
So it was really weird. And then I mean, so then all that hits, and you have the insecurity that I never had before, because I was always like, I'm a big guy, and I was fine. I was the life of the party. And then you kind of start looking, and then you feel like everybody else is looking, and then you're just like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden we have all these movements that are great, and I think that they were started with sound ideals, and then it's a fucking witch hunt for anybody that says something against the fucking grind. And I'm like, well, that's what I set my entire fucking comedy against, was not being your standard dude.
It's weird to me to hear somebody say that, like that they lost all this weight and they don't feel better about themselves.
Oh,
But
no.
But
Okay.
I see what you're getting at,
So
though.
let me clear some things up. I'm very proud of what I've done.
Right.
I'm very proud of where I'm at. I get up every morning at 4 a.m. I go to the gym. I work out 6 days a week. I work my ass off. I keep my diet. Last month, I'm not going to lie to you, I did a little dancing with the devil, so to speak, and did not, I went off the rails with my diet and just kind of ate what I wanted to.
Did you gain any weight? Mm-mm. Well, then there you go.
That's what I'm saying. I had to
good.
master my own demons, and but I mean, it was just more of an emotional thing than I thought it would be, because it's whenever you don't recognize you, because I've never seen myself as anything but that guy.
I know the most emotional thing that I had when I lost all that weight is like I made this decision, and like what made me decide to get on a scale was I saw a picture when me and my buddy went to the Grand Canyon, and I had to ride in the back of a helicopter in the middle.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, "Hey, dude, you're a big guy. Sit in the middle." Because
you'll
if
throw it off.
if I put you on one side or the other, it's a helicopter. You know what I'm saying? We got to
Right.
figure this out. So seeing that picture of me made me like, "Fuck, man!" And I got on a scale, and this was like maybe late April, early May, and I quit drinking cokes. I owned a lawn service, so I was working sun up to sundown, sweating my balls off, constantly just sweat, 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 drinking water, sweat, sweat, and that'll rip that shit right off of you. And it was Black Friday. I had started working back at the water company again, delivering water that year. And on Black Friday, I was supposed to meet my wife. I was supposed to be my wife, her mom, her sister, and her sister's husband for dinner. And I stopped at old because I didn't have any pants. All I had was shorts because that's all I'd been wearing.
Right.
Is shorts. It was summertime. It don't get cold here.
No.
So I stopped to get some pants so that way I wasn't just wearing these shorts. And I knew these shorts were way too big for me because I had a belt and it was all bunched up. It was just shorts. I was working in them. It's not a big deal. So I stopped, and I'm like, man, I'm not 40s anymore. I know that. So let me grab some 36s and some 38s.
Yeah.
And I go and try them on, and both of them swallow me. Like 36s are fucking 38s not happening. Like it's like what I'm wearing now. 36s, like, man, these are too big on me. So I went back and got 34s and put them on, and they fit perfect. I started crying in the dressing room because I'd gone from 42s down to 34s from May to November. And I was like, God damn, I have lost a lot of weight. And that's when it actually hit me how much weight I'd actually lost.
Well, that picture I showed you the other day of me before?
Yeah.
So I never noticed.
Yeah, you never do.
No, and I was like, man.
I do now that we're doing all this camera stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I notice myself a lot more.
No, I looked at the pictures. I remember when they took the picture. I'm like, damn, that's a good picture of me, And then you look back and you're like, God damn, that was fucking. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I went through a lot. Like I got angry at a lot of people because it's like y'all can all tell me how wonderful I look now,
but you couldn't do it back then.
But you couldn't tell me, good God, Glenn, you're not gonna make it to fucking 50.
Nobody wants to be the bearer of bad news.
I understand. Well, my dad was always a realist, and he was and I think it's sad that people think it's sad because I don't look at it in a negative light. But my dad, he wasn't raised with like fucking hugs and just this sweet disposition. Ow.
You all right over there?
Yeah. My earrings. So anyway, he wasn't, but he had this hard way of doing it. But like, he would, like my grandpa had both of his legs taken off from diabetes. So, the house that we lived in was his old house, and the bathroom door was taken out. And my dad would be like, yeah, we were going to put a door on there, but we wanted to make sure that Fatty could fucking shit. Like
talking about you.
Yeah. And he'd say Fatty 2x4, and I never
can't fit through the bathroom door.
Yeah, I never once took it as, man, my dad's being mean to me. And I still don't.
Right.
Because like literally a few weeks ago, he's looking at old pictures like, who's that big woman holding Little Wes? And I'm like, that'd be me. It's not a woman. And he's like, damn, Glenn, you were gross.
You were gross.
And he's not being mean. It's just that's his vernacular, and I don't take it that way.
Well, I mean, it's mean, but it's not intended to be mean.
See, I don't think because the thing is he's my dad, and what he was saying is he didn't even realize. Nobody realized because
it's in your face.
Yeah, well, no, but they were like,
day.
well, no, they're like, oh, no. They said, oh, well, with your personality, it outshined anything you had going on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and I never had a problem with women as a big man. I always had, I get numbers and dates and
same way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, and the thing is it's, I guess, kind of like what Tony Stark had to say to the Hulk. You need to strut, big man. Same way with the weight loss.
No matter what. You've got to strut.
Right, and that's the part that really has been difficult because it's like you go to the gym, like you said, you went to the gym the other day and it fucking sucks. Well, I mean, like
I'd much rather work out in my backyard with my dogs running around.
See, I love the gym, but I don't like. I can see where it would be very intimidating because people look at you and they're just staring. Oh, he's doing it wrong. Well, fucking tell me I'm doing it wrong. If you got some helpful advice, don't sit there and stare at me like I'm a fucking stooge.
But nowadays, people would rather take a picture of you and post it somewhere.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's like all these people are like, oh, my God, you lost so much weight. And the thing is like you don't congratulate a drug addict for getting,
you do.
Well,
actually.
no, I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, oh, my God. But, they're making a huge deal about it, and...
I lost so much weight so fast that I had some yards that were on a 1 month cycle when I cut grass back then. So there were some yards that, like, there was one lady in particular. I decided that I was going to make this change in my life, and I cut her yard like 3 or 4 days after that, and then I don't see her for another month at least, and I go back over there a little over a month later. to cut her yard again. And as we pull up, she's like, "Oh, honey, I got a yard man." And I was like, "Yeah, it's me, Miss Mary." And she was like, "What happened?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "How much weight have you lost since I saw you last?" And I was like, "What are you fucking?" Like I knew I had lost some weight, but I didn't know it was that fucking noticeable. And she was like, "You're a totally different person."
You know what? Probably
Oh, fuck.
well. I mean,
Alright, cool.
there's certain things like me and my wife. We've been together 6 years.
Right.
We've been married for less than a year.
Right.
But I remember you talking about that fitting room. I remember getting teary-eyed the first time my wife could actually reach all the way around me
And hug you.
Yeah, I never had that. It'd never been a thing. I remember my grandmother looked at me and she was just like, she's like, "You're so tiny," and like I'm still 250 pounds. I'm still a big guy. And, I had to change my mindset because I'm not going to get the look that I want because I've done a lot of damage. And, having to come to grips with that. But it's not a not feeling better thing. It's a mentally, you got to understand, I was bullied and I had a lot of shit going on insecure-wise
Right.
that I had gotten over. And then it just kind of threw it all back up in my face. And then I look at pictures of me now, and it's just really weird when you don't even recognize yourself.
Yeah.
And then I was looking into like these things where your eyes will tell you this is what you see, and it's telling your brain this is the image of you. And then you get the picture of you, like someone takes a picture of you, and it's like, like I do artwork, and I said, because the hardest part for me right now, and I think where my plateau is you had it in your mind, I'm going to lose 140 pounds. That's what I want to lose. And when you lose 100 pounds, you expect that you're going to look a certain way. And then you don't look that way.
Right.
You don't even look close to that. You look like you could still lose some weight. And so then you're, oh, fuck me. Well, I do it. I started a artwork when I was in California because I hated how insecure good-looking people were. And so it was called Lustfully Explicit, where it's basically the model chooses the pose that they want to see. The only thing is it has to be nude, okay? And they choose how they want to be seen. And then I draw it in pen and ink. And what I was going to do is, my lovely wife is a beautiful woman, but she is insecure about her chest and she's insecure about her nose.
I saw I'm not friends with her on Facebook, but somebody shared something that and she was wearing glasses the other day.
Yeah.
And she seemed like she was a little bummed out about that.
Well, the thing about her glasses is she's got some eye shit going on right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she has to wear the glasses, and the glasses are not the same prescription that her contacts are.
Ah, that sucks.
And she, the thing is I think she's hot no matter what. But
yeah, your wife is beautiful.
So I was going to she agreed that she wanted to do this piece where it's just like from here up, you don't get to see nothing. And it's like she's flicking a deck of cards, and it's all people that are just, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just average people. They're insecure about themselves for some reason or another.
And they're the faces of the deck.
Yeah, like it's just like, and it's just, we're all average. Even people that are exceptional. And I decided, I said, okay, babe, I go home, and I'm like, we take some pictures. I want to draw myself. And the reason I wanted to draw myself was because I'm having a hard time visualizing what I'm going to look like. Because you know how they're like, if you visualize it, you can get it. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of roll my eyes at that, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly
well,
what you're
that's the
saying.
problem is when you've never seen it before, how do you visualize it?
Yeah.
And so I took those fucking pictures, and it just sent me into a spiral because, there's shit that they don't tell you when you lose the weight. Shit that you never thought would happen that you don't want to happen. I'm like, real shit. Like, you've never lived until you have saggy skin around your asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right.
No, I'm just saying, like, gravity affects every fucking thing out there.
Have I ever showed you the skinny picture of me?
No.
Let me find you one. I got a good one. You'll be like, dude, that's not you.
Son of a bitch. Pause this for a second. Technical difficulty.
Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Technical
difficulties.
But
was that yours or mine?
that was mine.
It's not Ben, is it?
No, it's
You ever hear from him?
Yeah, I think he was on his way, but that's my wife.
Oh.
No. She's
The boss is calling.
No, she was just, letting me know that we have bills to be paid.
My wife texts me during the day. It's like, hey, pay this, pay this, pay this.
Oh man.
I got the apps on my phone, so.
Well, what was I mean? I'm gonna tell you right now that woman of mine, she fucking started it. Cause I get out of the bathtub and I'm like, you find this shit fuckable?
Oh, you're back to January 2nd.
Yeah. And she goes, yeah. I think you're fine. I'm like, oh God, and you're blind too?
Yeah,
I'm like,
we need to get those eyes looked at.
And so then, long story short, she was like, look, I'm not going to listen to you bitch about this anymore.
Yeah.
And then, like, just her being that honest, like, I don't give a fuck if you buy the compression shirts or the gym clothes or get a gym membership, but I don't want to fucking hear you bitch about it.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. You know, people will support you, but they don't want to hear the bitching.
Yeah, but then, like, here's the thing that, like, things that do break my heart, and I can't say anything about it because people take it the wrong way. Like, there's this woman that goes to the gym with us. And not with me personally, but I see her there every fucking morning.
Right.
And she is getting nowhere.
Maybe she's not checking her diet. Maybe she's got a disease or something.
No. But, like, she is doing nothing. The entire time she's in there, all she's doing is telling everybody else how to lose weight. And I promise you, she ain't lost a pound.
I've been guilty of that because I know how to do it.
Right.
I just don't do it.
Well, no, and she gets on the tread, and I'm not bad-mouthing, she gets on the treadmill, and she's going slow as fuck, and if she's on the elliptical, she's going slow as fuck. And it's like, yeah, you know how to do it. And the thing is, I can't tell you how to do it. I can tell you what worked for me. The reason I don't eat bread is really simple. It's really simple, and it's not because I hate bread, because I don't.
Love bread.
Every 6 days, I will have a fucking day where I'm about to eat the fuck out of some bread, okay?
But why not?
Because there's no such thing as a fucking bread tree. So, same reason I don't drink beer anymore.
Because of hops and barley?
No, because there's no such thing as a beer tree. If it grows from the ground, I'll wolf it down. If you have to make it.
So you'll eat weed?
Yeah, I would.
Yes. Have you ever eaten raw weed?
Yeah.
Like straight from the plant?
Uh-huh.
Well, that shit'll make you feel good.
Yeah.
Like I got on that CBD kick for a while, and then
Does it really work for inflammation?
CBD oil?
Yeah.
I've got some CBD lotion. It's pain cream lotion.
Yeah.
That shit's legit.
The reason I'm asking is because I've looked into several things that could be happening with, like, my body the way it is.
Right.
And a lot of it could just be inflammation. And, I mean, I don't eat a lot of red meat anymore.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I love it, but...
Well, I think I've got some CBD oil if you want to take some with you. I think I got some in the house. I think I've got an unopened one in the house. I think. I might not.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, just try.
But, yeah, you can try it.
I mean, I'm open to
so
anything.
I fell into the CBD kick because of that CBD store up here on Erie Drive. A friend of mine actually works there. It's Cannabis with Love. And I was trying to sign her as one of our restaurant partners with my day job because I thought it would be a good alternative to have delivered. You know, it's something to keep our drivers busy, and it might be good for 2 or 3 deliveries a day or 2 or 3 deliveries a week. But in the same breath, it's 2 or 3 deliveries that my drivers get to take. You know, because at the end of the day, I got to make sure they make money.
Right.
And when I sign them, being a good salesperson, you go in and talk to people, and you kind of want to know the product. So I bought some, and I started taking it, and I loved it. And then I got access to raw, straight off the fucking vine weed. And I mean buds that were growing that, somebody could have picked and dried and smoked, you know what I'm saying? And I started putting that in my shakes that I used to make. And my wife wouldn't touch it because she was afraid of, drug tests and all this, that, and the other. But, man, I had enough to do about 13 days of drinking my shakes with raw weed in it.
Yeah.
It tasted like weed, but motherfucker, did it make you feel fantastic. My movements, my shits were way better. Way better. You know what I'm saying? As a big dude, when you eat like trash, you shit like trash. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's like this last month I've been dealing with like a bout of depression.
Yeah, it's probably because of the way you're eating.
Yeah, I contribute a lot to it.
Well, try the CBD especially for your inflammation, because it's supposed to be real good.
Well, see, the thing with vascular disease is you don't pump off fucking inflammation. So, and that's the part that gets me too. And I'm not a very patient man. I don't know if you can tell.
I haven't noticed.
But like I have to wear support stockings. My legs go numb if I sit in the same position for any amount of time. I've had my legs go numb on the elliptical.
While you were running?
Yeah, wow. Which is fucking terrifying. But my point is, all these people give me reasons why they can't do this and they can't do that, and I have no fucking patience for it. Then don't come at me.
You want to know my reason?
What?
I'm lazy.
Well, no, look, and
100%.
God bless you for being fucking honest.
And I own it too.
But what I'm saying is, don't ask me what the fucking secret is, because you don't fucking care.
I won't say who, but I had a family member that was, oh man, I want to do this and I want to do that, but I can't. And I'm like, hey man, that's all bullshit. You're a shitbag.
You know what my favorite saying is? Can't never did a fucking thing.
Yeah, there you go. I've never heard that, but yeah, that's a good one. But you're a shitbag. And you either need to just own being a shitbag and just be a shitbag. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a shitbag.
Right. If you're going to be a piece of shit, be a piece of shit.
Because that gives everybody the opportunity to make up their mind. And if you start blowing smoke up somebody's ass trying to, I want to do this or I'm doing that, I got these big dreams, these big plans, blah, 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 blah. People think that you're not a shitbag and then you let them down by being a shitbag. Just let them know from the word go that, hey, I'm a shitbag and I'm going to be a shitbag and I do shitbag things.
Well, I started a thing on Facebook.
And you might not want to hang out with me.
Fanmo.
Fanmo, never heard of it.
And yeah, it's something I started. It was called Fat Ass No More.
We have talked about that.
Right. Yeah. And it was, I think that there needs to be a very blunt approach to it. It's simple.
Fat shaming does work.
It does work. I am a firm believer in that. And the thing is, I'm not being mean, but if you don't want to be a fucking fat ass anymore, quit being a fucking fat ass.
You're the one that puts food in your mouth. You're the one I'm the one that decided to pour another Coke.
Right. But I mean, the thing is, and I don't judge you for that. I don't care. But my thing is, whenever, first of all, not every fat fucking person is a lazy bag of shit.
No, I get it.
And that irritated the piss out of me. Oh, I bet he can't run. I bet he can't do this. I mean, I went to a job interview with UPS. And the bastard's like, "Can you work for 8 hours?" And I almost lost my fucking shit with him because I've always been strong. I've always moved. I mean, with my legs the way they are, I'm in the part of the population where 2% of the people, and I shouldn't be able to walk. But I'm too fucking stubborn that as long as these fucking going out fucking legs will work, I'm gonna wear them. But I do have a set of fake ones picked out if I ever, they're
titanium.
They're titanium and they're spring loaded.
There you go.
So I can continue to run, and they are fire engine red.
There you go.
Yeah, but I also wanted to be like an inch taller.
I knew this guy, and I don't remember how he lost his leg. I want to say he lost his leg in a motorcycle accident, but he was tatted up, ripped up dude. Like, this dude was ripped up.
Yeah.
And he was still working out when he was and he had a prosthetic leg made by one of his friends.
Yeah.
Who carved it out of wood.
Oh, that's badass.
And continued his tattoo down his leg
on the wood.
Dude, it was one of the dopest prosthetic legs I've ever seen in my life.
My grandpa had
what was that dude's name?
Standard wood
fake leg. Tell me it was the wrong color.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had a bigger shoe than his other foot.
It was fucking ridiculous. But I remember one morning, like, it's my first day of first grade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out of bed and you just hear this loud thud in the fucking bedroom, followed by the phrase,
"Oh yeah."
He's like, "Anybody else forget you don't have any fucking legs?" And he got mad because he had a pinup girl on his where his like ham meets his kneecap versus his calf, and they had to cut it off right there. Well, the muscle deflated, and he's like, "Man, this pinup girl's tits have gone to shit." Like,
That's fucked up.
He would just sit there and wiggle it, and it was so fucking funny.
My brother used to talk about talking about tattoos. My brother used to talk about getting a tattoo of froghorn leghorn hanging from a hangman's noose from his kneecap.
Oh, Jesus.
So he could tell everybody he had a cock that hangs below his knees.
Well, we all have to have dreams.
We all have to have dreams. The best tattoo idea that my brother ever had was a place tag here on your big left toe. I love that. I think that's funny, but I've always been told that toe tattoos will rub off over time.
Oh yeah, they will. I mean, like I have Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein or Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
I love that movie.
But no, it's the Boris Karloff version. And the main reason was, man, like I told you, I got bullied and shit like that, and all I did was get born, which is, I was like, man, me and Frankenstein have a lot in common. So it was me overcoming the monster. Now I've lost all this fucking weight, and it's like back to, you know, it's amazing how it shows its fucking face again.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just something I have to deal with. I got a beautiful wife. I mean, I get to do comedy. I get to be awesome, but you know, you still think that you're never going to be as cool as Danny here.
Oh, nobody will ever be as cool as Danny. He's my guy.
Oh.
You were afraid that he was going to be racist.
No, I thought he looked a lot like Mark. That was the problem. I thought Mark would think
they don't all look alike, sir.
No, I just thought that, well, I mean, it's a skinny black guy.
Yeah, touche.
And I thought that Mark would look at it and be like, why'd y'all get a bust of me?
Dude,
if we had a bust for every...
The story behind this guy, this guy's been around forever.
I just want y'all to know that I'm not being rude on this podcast, but my wife is blowing my fucking phone.
Well, we've been at it for 55 minutes. We'll go ahead and call it so that way you can make some phone calls.
Oh, no, she's fine. She's telling me she's going home.
Oh, is she good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Eyes are going in and out, but like her
be careful on that dirt road.
Her fucking eyes. She told me her eye, like she lost sight in her left eye completely for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you sure you should be driving with your eyes coming in and out?" Like, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine.
I'll be fine." That's a country girl
fucking trooper. Oh,
I lost my vision one time. My blood sugar had plummeted, and I went blind. And I was at Mudbug Madness Festival.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking to a cop when I started feeling like shit, man. Everything's just started like closing in on me, and I went from like looking at the cop to talking to the cop and looking over here, and he was like, "Johnny," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Look at me." I'm like, "I'm looking at you," and I didn't know where he was.
Right.
I was just like, I was panicking. I was trying to I was hoping he was going to come back.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I was hoping
it was.
I was more and more feeling like shit. I mean,
Yeah.
just like it was getting worse. My stomach was hurting. Like I was starting to sweat, and then I started pouring sweat. And he was like, "Get the EMTs over here." And they were like, "You're leaving in an ambulance. We'll get a helicopter in here, or your old lady can take you right now. So what are you gonna do?" And I ended up having to go to the emergency room. My blood sugar was. I've told people before what I remember the number being, but they were like, "There's no fucking way you'd be dead." So I don't really know what the number actually was, but I remember the number 4.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Being thrown out there.
That would. Are you saying low or high?
Low. Blood sugar of 4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
4.
Blood sugar of 4.
Yeah, no.
Because I remember one of the EMTs freaking out, like, and saying that we got to get him out of here right now.
Yeah.
Like, they put me in one of their little carts and took me to my old lady's car because I wasn't paying for the ambulance ride. Had to give this bitch directions blind. And then she almost, like, we were sitting at the hospital and, like, I was dehydrated. I was severely dehydrated. And once you get an IV in you, man, everything starts popping and working again.
Yeah.
You know? So you're like, "Oh, man, I'm on top of the world. Everything's good." And I was like, "Take me outside. Let me smoke a cigarette." So we're outside at Shumpert over on Margaret Place.
Yeah.
And there's a big driveway. It's like a big, the emergency room driveway goes uphill or whatever. And we're sitting there, and she's standing behind me, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to smoke one too." And I was like, "All right." And she lets go of the wheelchair, and she goes to walk around in front of me.
And there you go.
There's no lock. We didn't lock the brakes. So here I go rolling back. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, it was a crazy night. Crazy fucking night.
I was at work one time, and I was taking Mucinex.
Liquid or capsules?
Liquid, but apparently I'm like mildly allergic to the decongestant.
Right.
And it was making my heart like do this weird tachycardic thing. So it'd go up to like 150, and then it would drop down to 70, which is exhausting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I'm a tall guy with already blood issues.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like, I turned real pale and I start leaning forward. My boss at the time is 74 years old, and you just hear him go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! You are too big to fall. Whoa, whoa!" And I looked at him, and he's like, and so he ends up taking me to the hospital, and he sees the heart monitor. I had to walk around with the heart monitor forever.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
You talk about being too big to fall. I cut my thumb one time,
Oof.
and like it wasn't bad.
See that rigor?
Yeah, well, you can actually still see the scar right here, but I'd cut the top of it, and I immediately grabbed it, and I was like, "Fuck, I fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
I know this is bad." So it was me and a buddy of mine, and we walked into my dad's house, and I was like, "I'm gonna rinse it off and see what it looks like." So I rinse it off, but I still got my thumb like this, so it's still pressed together, and I'm rinsing it off, and I do like that, and that fucking thing opens up, and I can see the bone, and I'm like, and I put my thumb back like that, and I'm like, "All right, everybody chill. I'm about to pass out," because I could feel it.
Right.
I got down on my knees in the kitchen. I still had my thumb like on with the water running on it, and I was like, all right, I'm going out, and I just laid over, and I got about that far from the floor and just passed out and hit the deck, and then I woke up, like I could see my best friend standing there, but I was at a baseball when I passed out. I was at a baseball game, standing on the field, waving at everybody. Everybody was. And when
that's what crowd applause sounds
yeah.
like.
So I come to, and when I come to, I can, like, Josiah's standing over the top of me, but I'm still in this baseball field dreaming.
Yeah.
And I see him, and he's like, he's talking to me, but I can't hear what he's saying. And then finally it's all, and I can hear him talking, and I stand right the fuck back up. My dad called 911. And EMTs end up showing up because my dad was all freaking out and shit, and they were like, "Man, you need to go get some stitches in your thumb." I was like, "Give me some glue, man. Fuck that." So they ended up gluing my thumb, and I didn't go get stitches.
You see right here on this knuckle?
Oh, another finger issue with you. Huh?
Oh no, I was trying to pry a spring out from underneath the car, and anyway, my hand shot forward, and the skin just peeled.
Oh, god
Peeled.
damn.
Yeah, like you can see the whole fucking knuckle.
Oh.
So I walk in there, my grandpa, he's a fucking hard ass. My grandpa's a fucking hard ass. I walk in, and I'm like, "Hey, Pappy, I'm fucking hurt." And he's like, "Let me see it. Let me see it, pussy." That's what he.
Folds it back over.
He grabs it, he shoves the skin back down, and then he squeezes the piss out of my finger. Blood is everywhere, and he's like, "Put some super glue on there," and he said, "Now get back to what you were fucking doing."
Yeah.
So I did. And later on that night, I had to go to the emergency room.
Gangrene set in.
Yeah. I had fucking blood. And on that note,
Yeah.
that was a wonderful. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's we're gonna keep doing some more.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be great and shit. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that hour flew by, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude. Hell yeah, good talking to you.
Man, are we
We'll do-
pounding?
no, we'll do that.
Yeah,
We'll
because
do
we don't
that.
do the gay handshakes.
All right, well, we thank you guys again. Please like and subscribe. I think we should start with that next time.
And also y'all got to turn those. YouTube doesn't work like it used to. Notifications, you have to turn the bell on if you want to get notifications every time we go.
And please do that so that way we can get, we can get all these viewing hours that we can. We want to be able to do this for you full time if you like it. So.
And y'all need to turn in the next time that me and you talk. I think it's conspiracies and ghost stories.
Yeah, hopefully.
Something.
Yeah,
I think.
I
Yeah,
think that's what we're talking about.
Because I have some fucking tales.
I've got some decent, I got some really weird ghost stories. One of the best ones is a Christmas time ghost story. It's very very happy.
Very happy.
Very happy.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah,
Mine are terrifying.
No, I've only had a couple of really fucked up experiences with ghosts, and one of them was my stepmother. She scared the shit out of me one time. She passed away in the house that my dad lives in.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk all about that if you want.
Yeah,
That's a fucked up story.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
And I don't want to upset my step family in any way, shape, or form because it's kind of personal. So.
Yeah, well, I probably wouldn't.
But she did scare the fuck. She scared the fuck out of my wife one night. She scared the fuck out of me one night.
Yeah. Well, that is gonna be for next time.
Yeah, it was a good time. So
hell yeah.
Thanks, Cindy. Love you. But all right, guys, we appreciate. This is episode 5, I think, is what it is. 5.
Y'all be looking for content. I know that me and him, we're going to start doing a rigorous actual recording schedule.
Yeah, and I also I got some of my stand up put on this computer, so I think I'm gonna chop together something that we can put on here and critique because I own the rights to all of that.
Damn right.
What'd y'all think about my intro music on the last one?
I thought it was probably the whitest thing I've ever heard you play.
I didn't even get to hear it because I didn't have the headphones on.
Well, trust me.
I don't trust you.
When I tell you that it is like, you're like, oh, it's a white dream.
See, I think it was this one.
I think so. Here we go.
Oh, that's jamming, man. All right, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of my podcast, His Man Cave.
I'm Glenn Stewart.
I'm Johnny Gates.
We're out the fuck out of here.
All right.